Good evening, everybody. How's it going? That's right, yours truly, Lord Josh, returns once again to discuss something crucially important to the very fabric of lamatology. In fact, not only is it important to me and to my philosophy of lamatology, it should also be important to you if you want to improve your life as a human being, regardless of your situation, class, or creed. And I personally feel that humanity has done you a disservice if you feel that normality and nature are the same things. Because believe me, they are not. They could not be further from the truth. There is a huge misconception in today's society in the modern age that these two things are similar. Normality, what is it? What is being normal? How can you define normal? Well, we've got to look at the current definition of being normal, because normality is like a wave. It has an ebb and a flow. What was normal 80 years ago in England was to wear top hats, have canes, wear tailcoats, and white dinner jacket gloves. But if you wore that today, you'd be considered an outcast and an eccentric. Believe me, I would know all about that. And so, basically, normality behaves just like fashion. It comes and goes, and it changes. It changes with the times. It's not a concrete way of living. But nature is very consistent. Nature usually stays the same. So you want to follow something which does not have those foolish and trivial fatuous changes. You want to follow something that is true and real and raw. And it's coming from that divine source of power, that infinite divinity, which you're all seeking, I truly believe. I know I am. And I'm on my way right now to seeking it completely, because what is currently normal is to go to the supermarket and to buy, that's right, not grow your own stuff, but to buy poisonous, toxic-filled, GMO-ridden crap that they sell as food. And these kinds of products, these sodas, these foods full of processed fats and artificial coloring, they, over time, will make you seriously, seriously ill. Now, a lot of people have come to me and said, well, Josh, you're completely wrong about that, because I've been eating this stuff now for years and nothing's wrong with me. That's probably because you're under the age of 25. Now, when you get to the age of 45, 55, 60, you're really going to start seeing the effects of the GMOs you've put into your body. It's like smoking. It's not going to kill you straight away, but over time you will start to get ill. The GMOs are the same. They will not kill you straight away. They want to keep you at the level of sickness so that you make them enough money, and when you get to that age of sort of semi-retirement where you start to get useless for the state, they want to kill you off. And yes, that does sound quite dramatic and bleak, but it's the truth. Now, if you live off of the land, which is nature, so that's the natural way of living, and that completely goes in the face of normality, because normality is a man-made concept. It's made by the times of humanity. It's like fashion. But nature is so much different. And nature is when you're looking after your own health, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Living off of the land has no cons. It has all pros. There's nothing negative about it. Yes, it can be a bit of hard work at times, but that's good for people to do. I feel in today's age, people are lazy, intellectually and physically lazy. And so it's good for us to get moving, to get thinking, and to get working. And that invigorates and stimulates our minds. But the whole nanny state concept, where you have to live off of the state, you have to do what the state tells you, and you have to obey authority, it goes in line with conformity, and that's what normality is. Normality is nothing more than glorified mainstream conformity. That's all it is, and it's all it ever will be. Even if 1,000 years pass by from now, and let's say the entire agricultural and farming system completely goes out of business, it will never, ever, ever be natural for that to happen, but it'll be totally normal by the ignorant people's standards. So lamatology is about recognizing normality in nature and saying, yes, we acknowledge there is a huge difference between the two, and you cannot confuse them, because if you do, it'll be very damaging to your own personal health and your own personal success. So I would very much advise, if you're out there and you're on the fence about what is considered normal, completely forsake it. Completely get rid of the idea that you even want to be normal. Because look at most people today. What are most people doing? Take a look at your neighbors, take a look at your friends, your family. For the most part, what are they accomplishing? What are they doing? What legacy are they leaving behind? Is that something you want to do simply because it's currently fashionable? If the whole crowd is going in the wrong direction because it's normal, would you do it? It's not natural. It'll never ever be natural, and you've got to distinguish the huge difference there. And I feel that people just aren't doing that. And I mean, you compare this philosophy to the Four Directions philosophy, which a lot of people say is convoluted and complex. I feel this one is very, very simple. And if you're a sentient human being and you want some freedom in your life and you want some purpose and liberation, you should really take my words on board in a serious way. Because I've spoken to many people who are on the path, on the journey of nonconformity, and they're just starting out. I'm a veteran. I've been in this business for so many years. I've been a nonconformist since I was 11 years old. I'm now 20, almost 21. I've been doing this a long, long time, so I'm completely settled into this life now, and I'm an expert at it. But you get people who are just starting, a lot older than me. Some people starting right now, and they say that they feel a huge rush of adrenaline to say no, just to completely and utterly say no to what is considered normal. They say it's liberating. It's that feeling of a complete and utter adrenaline rush. It's like a drug in a lot of ways, I suppose. Now, I'm completely natural, but a lot of people have compared it to that. It can be quite addicting to be a nonconformist. But you see, most people, they're not like that. Most people will not go to the trouble of non-conforming because there is trouble involved with it. And there is trouble in turning your back on normality, because if you turn your back on normal people, you will get resistance from those normal people. And I think Einstein put it best. He called them mediocre minds. That's exactly what they are. They are mediocre people living mediocre lives, doing nothing but mediocre stuff. That's it. That's all they are. Do you really think that being mediocre is the way to go? I don't think so. That's not the way I want to live. Let's put it that way. I think that it's great to spit in the face of normality, to turn your back on the rat race, and to slap society across the cheek, and to raise the feathered fan and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to the store. I'm going to grow my own stuff. I'm not going to work and be a slave. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to be creative and spend my time working on spiritual studies. I think it's important to do. I really, really do. And you don't have to be a ceremonial magician to accept this belief. You don't have to be a lamatologist to accept this belief. All you have to do is to look outside of your window and look at nature, and look at the animals, and look at the system of nature and the flowers and everything in it. Everything in it works on its own terms. It's not bossed around by other elements. But I feel that people in today's age, they will say that they don't want government, and they don't want leadership, and they don't want people telling them what to do. But if you take that away, if you take away the authority, I feel that most people, because their compasses have just broken, and they've been broken for years, they've never worked, I feel that most people wouldn't be able to find their way if you took away authority. They depend upon the state. These lazy people cannot go against normality. They cannot be natural. They've either lost the ability to be natural, or they've simply never had it because they were raised in a normal environment. Well, now, would I say that I was raised in a eccentric environment? No, not really, but I was raised in a beautiful location. So I think that a lot of people don't have that. But believe me, you do not need to live on a farm or have acres of land to grow your own produce. You can live in a apartment complex and have a micro garden on the balcony. If you can't do that, you can get a community garden, an allotment, and grow your own food in a community garden where you can go down and get the keys and you pay out rent. I believe it's about $150 a year. Well, don't buy PS4 and don't buy TVs, and you can save some money and you can do it. No excuses. No excuses. There's no excuses to not live off the land. We as human beings, no matter who we are, whether we're kings or peasants, we are all farmers at heart. We are all people who should live off of the land. That's what we are, and I feel we've lost so much sight of that now. We are so lazy. We are lazy, so damn freaking lazy, all of us. People cannot survive now unless they are given food, unless they are fed, and it's going to get to a level where I think soon enough people are going to have to be fed by other people to keep going because they're just so lazy and inept. They're inept of any real life skills. So I'm going to set out a little challenge for you here today. It's not enough for me to simply sit here and explain to you what it is that I do to combat nonconformity and what it is that I do to get rid of the concept of normality. You need to try it for yourself to know that what I'm saying works and is truthful. At least it's my version of truth. If it doesn't work for you and it's not compatible with your lifestyle, that's something that you need to focus on for yourself, because I don't know you personally. But generally speaking, I know that most people in their lives, they need more nature. It's as simple as that. Take the spiritualism away from it, take the magic away from it, and simply say, I need more nature in my life. And if you can say that, then you're on the right road to progress. People do need more nature in their lives. So the best thing that you can do, I'm going to set out a challenge to you right now, is try to survive without the state-sponsored stores. Try to survive without them for just a couple of weeks. And if you can do that and you can prove to yourself that yes, you can survive on your own and you are independent, then that's a good thing. That's a good sign. I'm not saying go completely cold turkey and start growing absolutely everything on your own, because that's going to be hard at first. But you should ease yourself into the process, and if you can do that, you will progress. Also, I think it's very, very important that if you want to start abandoning society, you do it step by step. Now, granted, with me, I did it quite extremely. It wasn't done overnight, but I would say within about 6 to 8 months, it was near on completion. Now, for most people to become full-time hermits, to live off the land, and to completely detach from the external world of society, I would say for most people it takes quite a few years. For me, it didn't, because I'm made for that. You know, I'm naturally made for that, to rebel against conformity. I just feel it's in my genetics, it's in my blood. And when I was a conformist, I guess that gene wasn't awakened. And now it has been awakened and it's never going to be dormant again. But I feel that a lot of people out there have got exactly the same thing that I have. I'm by no means the only one in the world that does this kind of thing. But I feel I'm the only one who's so intense about it. There's a lot of people out there that conform, non-conform, should I say, behind closed doors. But as soon as the door opens and other people can see them, they switch back to that normal state of mind, which is totally unnatural. So do not do yourself a disservice. Try to be more independent. Try to live off the land for a short period of time. And do your best to try to exercise your creative muscle, your imagination. Try to put yourself out there and write a poem. I want to see your great poetry. I want to see your creativity. I want to see what you've got going on up there. You know, that's amazing. I see all these people graduating, all these supposedly great intellectual people. I don't see anything that I couldn't do. I really don't. I see these people as drones. I see them as complete and utter drones. And I don't want my viewers, because chances are if you're watching this video, you've had one-on-one personal interaction with me, because I always speak to every single viewer that I have. So chances are you've definitely spoken to me, and you know that I'm very sincere with my belief systems. I do not want you to go down that route. And some people say, oh, why, Josh? Why would you care about this sort of thing? If you're a hermit and you don't associate with people and you live essentially in your own world, why would you care what goes on outside? It's not the fact that I want the world to change, but I feel that I have all of these theories, all of these thoughts going through my mind. I would be doing myself a disservice if I was just to sit here and do nothing and just live my life as I am now. I have to tell you about it. I have to at least give you information about it. It's up to you how you want to take it, but I feel that I live this extraordinary life. I should tell people about it. And that's basically the reason why I do it. I want people to change, yes, but at the same time I also feel it's very therapeutic for me to tell people about my journey and where I've come from. It's the give and take, it's the yin-yang. You see, it's always about the yin and yang. I'm very upfront and very honest about what I do. I am not a phony, benevolent, virtuous man. I'm very much in the grey area. I'm always in the center, harmoniously balanced between the yin and the yang. So please do not mistake me for being someone who's a humanitarian trying to save the world. I'm just trying to educate people and inspire the right people who've got that seed in their mind, but they perhaps can't water it because of unfortunate circumstances. I'm more than happy to be that watering process. So thank you very, very much for watching this video. I hope it's been informative, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great night.